in, just to highlight a point from a commentary from one of those companies. But PSUs is something that you caught on early. That saw a pullback, but I believe there is some addition that you've done. Before we get to what you have to say on that, Nimesh, you have done some crunching on that.
Well, I just looked at some numbers from the PSU sector, and it's been a roller coaster ride for PSUs in the last 6 odd months. From a high of almost index at PSU index, from a high of almost 11,800, it hit a low of almost 8,000 on the index on March 3rd. And from there, you've seen a decent pullback on all the PSU stocks as well as in the index as well, though. So the index from the March lows is up 16% as of yesterday. So a decent pullback in the PSU index, so to speak. Even for a lot of individual names, there has been a decent pullback, So I just looked at some. So before I talk about individual names, all the PSUs, the 20 components of the PSU index, all have delivered positive returns since the March 3rd lows. And even the worst performing stock, which was RVNL, even that's pulled back 10% from the recent low. So decent pullback in many of those names. The highlighted ones are the ones where there has been a decent pullback because of some announcements as well. So HAL has been one of the best performer, up 35% from the lows. HPCL is up 22%, BEL, REC, BHEL, all up between 20-22%. So decent pullback on those names. Now, what has led to this pullback or a trigger for the stocks to move up? One, a lot of stocks had corrected, so the valuations have been a bit comfortable for a lot of investors. So that was the first reason. Two, if you look at in the last fortnight, there are many PSU companies where fresh appointments of MD and CEOs have been announced. The likes of REC, the likes of IFC, a lot of those companies saw the appointments of top heads. Also for defense PSUs, there has been massive order win in the last fortnight for likes of BEL, for likes of HAL. So that's been a big trigger for them. And for even something like a BHEL, they've backed 3 large orders in the last fortnight. So that probably explains why you've seen a pullback, because the confidence is back that the government is going to issue fresh orders for the PSUs. Now, coming to specific, the defense names, especially HAL and BEL, I'm focusing on those because there are some reports as well. On HAL, the big trigger or the big overhang was the supply of GE engines. Now, that has started, which brokerages believe that it's removing the overhang on HAL, and most of the brokerages are still positive with the target price ranging from 5,800 to 6,000. So still an upside for a stock like HAL even after the pullback from recent lows. Same is the case with BEL as well. Fresh orders have come. They looks like they'll achieve their order book of 25,000 crores for this year. So that's been a trigger in BEL. For OMCs, there are a couple of triggers to watch out for. Of course, the crude is lower, but the LPG subsidy has been a big overhang. And if that comes in, you'll see a very strong quarter for a lot of brokerages have started upgrading the likes of HPBP, IOC. Now, so that's on the OMCs. I want to just leave with some holdings because Quant runs a PSU fund, and there are some top holdings including LIC, ONGC, NTPC, Concor, GAIL, SBI Life, etc. SBI Life is of course not a PSU. But Sandeep, I believe you all have further raised the exposure to the PSU stocks. Your thesis and why you're liking PSUs now?
So first of all, we rate, I think, 6 to 8% exposure in last month or so. See, we have always been bullish about PSU, okay? But only what happened last year, we have seen a euphoric move, okay?